I want to start today without advice, without motivation, without telling you what you should do next. I want to start with a moment. Think back to the version of you before healthcare, before the scrubs, before the badge, before you knew what a 12-hour shift actually felt like in your body. That version of you didn't have everything figured out. They weren't confident yet. They weren't polished. They just knew something had to change. And somehow you ended up here. Before I became a CNA, I wasn't chasing a title. I wasn't thinking about career ladders or long-term plans. I was thinking about survival, stability, purpose. I remember looking at healthcare from the outside and thinking, at least that work matters. At least someone needs me. A lot of people don't talk about that part. They act like CNA was a perfectly planned decision, like it was strategic, intentional, or neat. For most of us, it wasn't. It was the door that was open, the path that felt realistic, the option that said, you can start here. And that matters more than people realize. No one wakes up in the morning dreaming of call lights and being short staffed. People choose CNA because it's accessible, because it's honest work, because it doesn't require pretending you already have everything together. I remember my early days thinking, okay, you can do this. I can handle this. And then realizing the job wasn't just physical, it was emotional, it was relational, it was identity shaping. You don't just put scrubs on your body, you put them on your sense of self. Here's where things start to get complicated. The CNA role puts you in a strange position. You're trusted, but not always respected. You're close to the patients, but far from decisions. You see everything, but not often asked, what did you see? And if no one explains that dynamic to you, then you start internalizing it. You start wondering, am I not smart enough? Am I not moving fast enough? Is this all I am ever going to be? That's not a personal failure. That's a reality of healthcare. But most CNAs blame themselves for a system they were never taught to understand. Another pressure that shows up quietly, the pressure to move on. People start asking questions. What's next? Are you going to nursing school? How long are you going to stay a CNA? And suddenly, this role starts to feel like something you should apologize for, or explain, or escape. That's dangerous. Because when you rush through a season that's meant to teach you, you don't actually end up saving time, you end up losing clarity. Here's the shift that changed everything for me. The CNA role isn't testing whether you belong in healthcare, it's teaching you how healthcare actually works. As a CNA, you're learning how patients decline, you're learning how families cope, you're learning how teams communicate or don't. You're learning how leadership behaves under pressure. You start noticing who speaks up, who listens, who cuts corners, who advocates. That awareness is education, even if we don't call it that. This is where I want you to slow down. You don't need to rush out of the CNA role to make it valuable. You need to extract what it's already teaching you. I want you to ask yourself, really do it. Ask yourself, what drains me here? What energizes me here? And why? What kind of professional do I want to become after watching this environment up close? Some people leave CNA work bitter, others leave with wisdom. The difference isn't time, it's intention. Looking back now, I don't see CNA as a low position. I see it as one of the most informative ones. People who skip this stage often has credentials without context. CNAs understand healthcare from the ground up. Think about it like a skilled trade. You don't just go do a class and become a master plumber, master carpenter, or master electrician. You start at the apprentice level, get your hours in, then become a journeyman, and then after so many hours, then you can pursue, expert level, master plumbership or whatever they call it. You get what I'm saying? But in nursing, we don't do that. You can leave high school and go straight to RN or NP, through college. They don't make you do the CNA, LPN, RN, NP. It's not necessary, but there should be something in there where we don't just, take you straight from high school into, to the finish line. One thing I do know, CNAs go on to become the best nurses, and we can argue about it all day. Not saying you can't be a great nurse, without skipping, but in my experience, the people who I've worked for, worked with, I just notice a huge difference. If I were to sit across from you, tired, questioning, unsure, I would tell you this. You are not behind. You are not late. And you are not wasting time. You are building discernment. You are building resilience. You are building clarity. And clarity is more valuable than speed. You don't need the whole plan today. You don't need to have everything mapped out. You just need to be paying attention. This stage matters, not because you'll stay here forever, but because it's shaping how you'll show up wherever you go next. Take your time, learn deeply, and trust that this chapter is doing more for you than you can see right now. You're not behind. You're building